Every day, without even realizing it, you are making one decision that is slowly shaping your entire life. It is not a big decision. It is not something dramatic. In fact, it feels small, almost invisible. But over time, this one habit becomes the difference between people who move forward and people who stay stuck in the same place for years. Now, here's the real question. What if I told you that if you learn to control just this one habit, your confidence will grow, your focus will become sharper, and your life will begin to change in ways you never expected? It sounds simple, maybe even too simple, but sometimes the most powerful changes come from the smallest actions repeated every single day. Most people believe that success comes from big actions. They think they need motivation, talent, or some perfect opportunity. So they wait for the right time, they wait to feel ready, they wait for things to become easier. But while they are waiting, something else is happening quietly in the background. Their habits are shaping their future. Not their dreams, not their plans, but what they actually do every day. And this is where most people lose without even knowing it, because they are not failing in big moments. They are failing in small, daily choices. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you said, "I will start tomorrow"? Maybe it was about learning something new, improving your English, working on your goals, or changing your routine. Tomorrow feels safe. Tomorrow feels like a fresh start, but when tomorrow comes, it becomes today. And the same pattern repeats again. This is not because you are lazy. This is not because you are not capable. The truth is much deeper than that. It is because there is one habit controlling your actions, and most people are not even aware of it. Let me tell you something important. This habit is not about working harder. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. It is not about pushing yourself until you feel exhausted. In fact, many people who try to force themselves fail very quickly. They start with energy, but after a few days, they lose it. They stop, and then they blame themselves. But the problem was never their effort. The problem was that they were trying to fight the wrong battle. There's a silent pattern that controls your decisions every day. It decides whether you take action or delay it. It decides whether you focus or get distracted. It decides whether you grow or stay exactly where you are. And the most dangerous part is this: it feels normal. You don't notice it. You don't question it. You just follow it. For example, imagine two people who both have the same goal. They both want to improve their life. They both have the same 24 hours, but one person takes small actions every day, even when they don't feel like it. The other person keeps delaying, saying, "I will do it later." After 1 week, the difference is small. After 1 month, it becomes visible. After 1 year, their lives look completely different. So what created this gap? It was not talent. It was not luck. It was one simple habit repeated again and again. Now, here's something that might surprise you. This habit is not something external. It is not your job, your environment, or your background. It is something inside you. It is how you respond in small moments. When you feel like doing something important, do you act immediately, or do you delay it just a little? That small delay may not feel important, but when it happens again and again, it becomes a pattern, and that pattern becomes your life. Most people don't fail because they don't know what to do. Deep down, you already know what is right, and you know you should study, practice, work on your goals, or improve your skills, but knowing is not the problem. Doing is the problem. And the gap between knowing and doing is controlled by this one habit. So before I reveal exactly what this habit is, I want you to observe yourself today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, notice the small moments when you have a choice to act, or a choice to delay, a choice to focus, or a choice to distract yourself. Because in those small moments, your future is being created. And once you understand this, once you become aware of it, you will realize something very powerful. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You don't need to become perfect. You just need to control this one habit. And when you do that, everything else will start to fall into place. In the next part, I will show you exactly what this habit is, why it is destroying most people's potential, and how you can take control of it starting from today. Because Once you master this, you are no longer controlled by your excuses. You become the person who takes action. Now, let's talk about the one habit that silently controls your life. This habit is very simple, but it is also very powerful. The habit is this delaying action, or what most people call procrastination, but I want you to understand it in a deeper way. Procrastination is not just about being lazy. It is not just about avoiding work. It is a pattern of choosing comfort over progress in small moments again and again. And this is what slowly holds you back from becoming the person you want to be. Think about this carefully. Every time you say, "I will do it later," you are not just delaying a task, you are training your mind to escape discomfort. And when your mind learns to escape, it becomes weaker. It becomes easier to delay the next task and the next one after that. Over time, this becomes automatic. You don't even think about it. You just follow the feeling of comfort. But here's the truth that most people don't realize. The things that can change your life are often uncomfortable in the beginning. Studying when you don't feel like it, practicing English when you feel shy, working on your goals when you feel tired. These things are not easy, but they are necessary. And if you always wait to feel ready, you will keep waiting forever. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you wake up in the morning and you know you should do something important. Maybe it is studying, exercising, or working on a project. In that moment, you feel a little resistance. Your mind says, just relax for 10 minutes, check your phone, you can start later. It feels harmless. It feels small. But what usually happens next? Those 10 minutes become 30 minutes, then 1 hour, and suddenly the day is gone. This is how procrastination works. Not in big decisions, but in small delays. Now imagine a different response. You feel the same resistance, the same discomfort, but instead of delaying, you take a small action immediately. Not something big, just a small step. You open your book, you write one sentence, you start for just 2 minutes. At first, it feels difficult, but once you start, something changes. Your mind becomes more focused. The resistance becomes smaller. And before you know it, you are already moving forward. This is the key difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck. Successful people don't always feel motivated, they don't always feel ready, but they have trained themselves to act even when they don't feel like it. They understand one simple rule. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Now, I want to give you a very simple method to control this habit. You don't need a complicated system. You just need a small shift in how you respond in those moments of resistance. First step is awareness. You need to notice when you are about to delay something, not after it happens, but in the exact moment. When your mind says later, pause for a second and recognize it. This awareness is powerful because it gives you a choice. The second step is something very simple but very effective. It is called the 2-minute rule. When you feel resistance, don't try to do the whole task. Just start for 2 minutes. Tell yourself, I will only do this for 2 minutes. This removes pressure. It makes the task feel easy. And most of the time, once you start, you will continue longer without even realizing it. The third step is to remove distractions before they control you. Many people try to focus, but they keep their phone next to them. They keep notifications on. This makes it almost impossible to stay focused. So make it easier for yourself. Put your phone away. Turn off notifications. Create a small environment where starting becomes easier. The fourth step is to change your identity. Instead of saying, I am someone who procrastinates, start saying, I am someone who takes action. This may sound simple, but it changes how you see yourself. And when your identity changes, your behavior starts to follow. Every small action you take becomes proof that you are becoming that person. Now let me show you something important. You don't need to win every moment. You don't need to be perfect. There will be days when you feel tired, when you delay things, when you don't follow your plan. That is normal. What matters is not perfection. What matters is returning quickly. Don't let one delay become a full day of inaction. Come back. Start again. Even a small action is enough. Because in the end, your life is not controlled by one big decision. It's controlled by thousands of small decisions you make every day. And when you learn to take action in those small moments, you start to build something very powerful. You build trust in yourself. You build confidence. And slowly you become the kind of person who does what they say they will do. So remember this clearly. The habit that is holding you back is not a lack of talent. It is not a lack of opportunity. It is the habit of delaying action. And the moment you learn to control it, even in small ways, your life will start to move in a completely different direction. Now, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine that from today, you start controlling this one habit. Not perfectly, not all at once, but slowly, one small decision at a time. Every time you feel like delaying, you pause. And you choose to act, even if it is just for a few minutes. At first, nothing feels different. Your life looks the same, your routine feels the same, but inside, something has started to change. After a few days, you begin to notice something small but powerful. You are no longer avoiding things as much as before. You start tasks faster. You feel a little more in control. After a few weeks, the change becomes clearer. You are getting more done, not because you are working harder, but because you are delaying less. Your confidence begins to grow, not from motivation, but from action. And then, after a few months, something even bigger happens. You start to see yourself differently. You are no longer the person who says, "I will do it later." You become the person who takes action. You become someone who keeps promises to yourself. And that changes everything. Because when you trust yourself, you stop doubting every decision. You move forward with clarity. You stop waiting for the perfect time. Now, think about the opposite. Imagine continuing the same pattern, delaying small tasks every day, choosing comfort again and again. One day may not feel important. One delay may not seem like a big problem. But over time, it builds. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and suddenly you realize that nothing has really changed. The same goals, the same plans, the same thoughts, but no real progress. That is the hidden cost of procrastination. It does not hurt you immediately, but it slowly takes away your future. So today you have a choice. Not a big dramatic decision, just a small one. The next time you feel that resistance, that small voice telling you to wait, what will you do? Will you follow it, like always? Or will you take one small action? Because that moment is where your life begins to change. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to wake up tomorrow as a completely new person. All you need to do is start. Start small, start simple, start today. Maybe it is one sentence, maybe it is one page, maybe it's just 2 minutes of focus. It may not look like much, but it is not about the size of the action. It is about the direction. Remember this, every time you take action, when you don't feel like it, you are building strength. You are training your mind, you are becoming more disciplined, and slowly that discipline becomes your identity. It becomes who you are. One day you will look back and realize that your life did not change because of one big moment. It changed because of many small moments where you chose action over delay, where you chose growth over comfort, where you chose to move forward even when it was difficult. So don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. That time does not exist. The only time you have is now. And what you do now, even something small, has the power to change your future. If this message connected with you, then don't just watch it and forget it. Take action today. Start with one small task that you have been delaying. Do it right now, not later. And once you finish, you will understand this feeling. The feeling of moving forward. And if you want to keep improving, keep growing, and keep building a better version of yourself, make sure you stay connected. Because this is just the beginning of your journey. Your future is not decided by luck. It's decided by your daily actions. So take control and start today.